just a few weeks after Mehreen Faruqi refused to condemn terrorist group Hamas, the Greens deputy leader will be part of a Senate committee into anti-Semitism at Australian universities.
Does Hamas need to be dismantled?
The Palestinians need to decide where they want to go.
So if they choose Hamas, that's okay?
What can I say?
Should it be dismantled?
Hamas is an organisation that exists in the region.
Surely you're able to say whether you'd like to see them gone.
I mean, it's not up to me.
She has also previously accused the coalition of, and I quote, trying to weaponise anti-Semitism to attack those who are standing up to Israel's genocide in Gaza. So is she on this committee to further her own anti-Israel agenda, to downplay the rise of anti-Semitism? Let's ask my next guest, Dr. David Adler, President of the Australian Jewish Association. Dr. Adler, how is the Jewish community reacting to this development?
Rita, I think that it's universally seen as quite an absurd, bizarre appointment. You'd be hard-pressed to find a less suitable candidate in Australian Parliament for this particular role. She has a dreadful track record, as do the Greens generally, by the way. They are the only political party in this country which has, for example, rejected the gold standard definition of anti-Semitism, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition. But Mehreen Faruqi is a radical activist in this space. I mean, we have pictures of her wearing a keffiyeh with a revolutionary fist in the air. We have pictures of her associating with some of the most radical activists, including a couple that have been charged with serious criminal offences. So maybe this is an attempt to sabotage the role of the committee. Who knows?
Now, the Student Council at Monash University has called a general meeting to discuss whether to support an immediate and just end to Israel's war in Gaza. I'm sure Benjamin Netanyahu is just waiting with bated breath to see what these activist students are thinking. The students want a permanent withdrawal of Israeli troops, an end to the what they call 18-year-long blockade, and reparations to be paid for the reconstruction of Gaza. They also want to call upon the university to reveal and cut all ties with companies and institutions involved in the development and manufacturing of weapons used by the IDF. Now, we had a similar meeting at University of Sydney earlier in the month, and that descended into utter chaos. You had the pro-Israeli speakers abused, spat on, and remarkably at Sydney Uni, the students voted not to condemn Hamas. Are we going to see similar scenes at Monash?
Look, it's an interesting question. They've actually introduced in their procedures a strategy which might prevent the disruption, because in order to attend this particular meeting, a student needs to pre-register. So this may be a tactic to keep away the Jewish students in the university. I mean, who would want to hand over their details to the leaders who are pushing this activism? I wonder whether the student organisation there knows that their university is named after a very prominent Australian Jew, Sir John Monash, arguably one of Australia's best ever military leaders. And
Dr. Adler, I would not give them ideas, because the next campaign will be to rename Monash University, and then everything else that's named Monash in this city, of which there is quite a lot. Before you go, just quickly, Foreign Minister Penny Wong has urged the Middle East to de-escalate its tensions. She's tweeted, Australia is gravely concerned at the prospect of escalation in the Middle East. Further hostilities put tens of thousands of civilians in Lebanon and Israel at risk. We urge all involved actors to exercise restraint and de-escalate. But it's notable there she doesn't mention terrorist organisations like Hezbollah, who seem to be behind the escalation. I've only got 30 seconds. How has Penny Wong handled her portfolio when it comes to the Middle East?
On this issue, she's been possibly our worst ever foreign minister. And you've nailed the context. There was intelligence that the US and Israel had that Hezbollah was about to launch anywhere from 1,000 to 6,000 rockets and UAVs. Israel struck. And so to make that sort of outrageous statement without any reference at all to the cause is not fulfilling the sort of leadership duty we expect of our politicians.
Well said, Dr. David Adler. Thank you for your time.